This is the Nell Gwynne, another worthy pub within Covent Garden, something that we are not spoilt by. Covent Garden, a bit like Chinatown, is so spoilt by custom that many of its pubs no longer adhere to genuine pub lovers. In fact, they can quite often be incredibly rude to their customers. That's why when we do come across pubs that are special or bar staff that are kind, they're particularly important and special. After all, if you have an abundance of custom and all you care about is money, then why would you be nice to your customers? Therefore, we should always respect publicans and pubs that do the opposite. Now, this particular pub is lovely on the inside and out, and many pubs like this would have served people of the local area that only they really knew it was there, because if you was just passing by, you wouldn't have an excuse to travel through these alleyways and walkways. And whether you're here or in somewhere like Edinburgh, beautiful little pubs like this, hidden down alleyways, really are just as special as many of the really famous pubs that we know about, especially if you can get a little bit of privacy in order to have a decent conversation. So I'm going to use this historic board to make my life a little easier. Nell, born and raised in this locality, sold fruit in nearby Covent Garden. Covent Garden was a fruit and veg market, particularly rough, and that's where she made her living before gaining fame as an actress on the Drury Lane stage. Samuel Pepys, who was worked for the Admiralty and was a famous diarist during the 1660s, he famously wrote during the epoch of the Great Fire of London in 1666 and the Great Plague the year before in 1665. Very important man, especially if you're looking into that particular timeline. The renowned diarist describes seeing the mighty pretty Nell on his way to the Strand in 1667. Now here we get to our crime. In 1867, William Terrace, at first glance you'd think it might be Tetris, a well-known actor of the day, was murdered yards from this spot by a stagehand from the Adelphi Theatre. Now, I could talk about this or more about this, but instead we're going to come to this, because Nell Gwynne's most famous attribute was the fact that she was actually one of Charles II's lovers. But Charles II was the Merry Monarch. He was the monarch during the restoration of the throne after the beheading of his father, Charles I, who was the final autocratic king. So basically, when he became king, he was free to enjoy himself. He had lots of ladies, he had lots of drink, and he was, shall we say, not as busy as his father and his predecessors. Okay, sorry. Now, in the short time that we were filming our scene outside, every single seat in here has filled up. The Nell Gwynne is one of the most popular pubs in Covent Garden because it's actually quaint, it's actually wholesome. If you're a pub lover, then you will go out your way to get here on time for when the doors open, so that you can actually get a decent seat. Because if you've got a decent seat, it doesn't matter how packed it gets, because you can hide in your little corner. Now the staff, the charming staff, have just let me do my outro here, and as you can see, they've got Asahi on tap, lots of lovely lagers. I would give anything to see more establishments go out of their way to mimic places like this, as opposed to aspire to the new modern bar look. It's just not quaint, and it's not worth visiting. This, however, is. So, the Nell Gwynne, ladies and gents. Think for yourself. I'll see you soon.